But yeah, a lot of research into the weaponry. That was probably what's it called? Oh, and fight scenes. Romance, you're not writing a lot of fight scenes. So lots of research into fight scenes and sparring and a lot of that.
They're like prepared. Right. They're training for war. They're training for any situation possible.
They're at a war college. And I think it's especially when they visit the outposts, and you can see if you were going to have to do an assault on an outpost, how would you do that? Like, they can't just stand there dragging backs.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get there? How do you handle a military unit and things like that? And they're very much like the squads are very much units. And so at least I get to see that a lot from being married to my husband, like how that camaraderie works and how those kind of function in those situations. And there are plenty of times in decision making, especially towards the end of the book, which we won't give away, where I went to my husband and I'm like, would this be an order? Would this be a choice? How would you handle this if you are 20, you're 22 years old, 23 years old, and you have all these kids who are younger than you? How are we handling this? So I'm really lucky that I have a firsthand military source, because I'm not I'm not out there doing push-ups at 5 a.m., but I can shout down the hall like, how does this work? And my husband and
cute though. I bet that he loves that though, where he could lend his expertise to you. Like he's like, my time to shine.
So my backlist is majority military romance. So majority of it, like my Flight and Glory series, like my first series, is all helicopter pilots going through flight school and things like that. And a lot of that's based on my husband. There's some books that like are things my husband has said. And he always like sneaks into my books. Like, I can't help it. He just does. I wrote one book where I turned around and I was like, I wrote you into a book. This is actually, I wrote you in like on accident. Like his name is Jason and that character's name is Jameson. My husband's 6'4" and he's got that very dominant personality and that very self-assured thing. And he always just wiggles himself into those characters, but he has a good time. He reads all of my books.
Oh,
so either at editing stage or wherever I feel comfortable giving it to him. And he read Fourth Wing and he was just like, where's the next one?
Yeah, same, Jason, same. Where's the next one? I'm right.
Unfortunately, that man gets me pacing. So like I'm pacing and I'm like, I'm in this situation.
Yeah.
I have to come out of this. And he's like, don't tell me anymore. And I'm like, sure.
Like, yeah. Oh yeah, because he wants to not be spoiled too. So he's
right. And I'm over here, but I need to talk this out. But he's phenomenal. And I will say that man quit his military career once mine started going. And he switched from like Apache pilot dad to minivan stay-at-home dad. And it's incredible to watch. Like, he's the most supportive guy I could ever possibly ask for. But I'm always more comfortable in military settings. So when it was just going to be a unit, it was what the pitch had been. And she was like, put it at a war college. And I was like, oh yeah, sounds good. And I was like, can I kill people? And she was like, oh, lots of people. And I was like, I want to kill a ton of them. I want this to be like, this is what happens here. I need to desensitize. And she's like, yeah. So